The Sun has been dormant for more than 4 months. As a result, the Earth's magnetosphere loses its boost and thus its ability to counter cosmic radiation. Could it be the reason for the historical heatwave that is currently engulfing the planet? Hello guys, this is JT at the channel of Excite. Today, let's talk about sunspots. So for those who do not know, sunspots are regions on the surface of the Sun where the light is dim because of the concentration of magnetic flux. In other words, these are spots where solar magnetic flux is not the same as the rest of the Sun's surface, and these places look darker than the areas surrounding them. The presence of sunspot follows a supposedly 11-year solar cycle, and them being normal means the Sun is healthy. But what is worrying today is the lack of sunspot for 4 months already, only in this year. That is 10% more than half of the time we have been through this year. This is not supposed to happen, not until 2020, because the last time sunspot disappeared for so long was in 2009, when more than 70% of the days in the years did not have sunspot. So according to the 11-year solar cycle, such a dip in sunspot could only occur again in 2020. So what is the indication of this? For some of you might think that all these sun's activities wouldn't affect the Earth that much. Well, guess what? You're wrong to think so, because the Sun's magnetic field is like a boost for the Earth's magnetosphere itself. Therefore, the fading of solar magnetic activities bring with it a decrease in the Earth's magnetic energy, and hence the intense bombardment of cosmic radiations. That's right, folks. Cosmic radiation is infiltrating the Earth in not a very natural manner. Scientists use a balloon in the stratosphere to measure radiation, and the results show that radiation level has been increasing steadily by 18% every month since March of 2015. Meanwhile, cosmic rays are approaching the Earth from every direction across the galaxy. You might be asking yourself, even if the Sun was not so dormant this year, it would be so in 2 years from now, and what difference did that make? Well folks, the answer is simple. Cosmic activities have cycles of their own. As long as everything follows a natural course, we are fine. Yet the Sun is a bit ahead of its course, and so we are not fine. Like I have said before, the level of radiation in the stratosphere is increasing, and sooner or later, unless the Sun reawakens, these radiation will penetrate the upper level and eventually will directly affect life on the surface of the Earth. Currently, it can only affect us indirectly by stirring up the activities up there, and what we can see down here is the increase in adverse weather anomalies taking place across the globe, worsening the already bad man-made climate change. Well, actually, flight crews and passengers might have already been affected directly by these radiation when they are on board. Of the sources of space radiation, a major one, acknowledged by NASA, is a binary star system that they said was 10,000 light-years away from the Earth. You see, 10,000 light-years away is pretty short a distance in terms of astronomy. So put it in another way, there is no doubt that the system's effects on the Earth would be tremendous if it hadn't been for the Sun and the Earth's magnetic field. But now, with the Sun being dormant ahead of schedule, the Earth is already losing one line of defense. Additionally, Earth's own magnetic defense would lose its solar boost, making the situation even worse. So to sum up, the Sun is not as active as it should be, weakening the whole solar system magnetic defense and exposing the Earth to harmful cosmic rays. The most evident consequence we have seen in the past few months is the unprecedented surge in temperatures on every continent. In the unlikely event that you don't know, July has seen heat record in every continent on planet Earth. Sweden is experiencing its hottest summer in 260 years, while the record in Finland and Norway has the highest in 100 years. Belgium reached over 100 degrees Fahrenheit, or more than 40 degrees Celsius, while places in the south of Europe like Spain and Greece have reached over 120 degrees F, or almost 50 degrees C. In the meantime, North America's continent is also setting record with over 100 degrees Fahrenheit or 40 degrees Celsius in many places, from Ontario and Quebec to Denver. LA and California are growing to a 120 degree Fahrenheit summer, while the Death Valley has reached 127 degree F or 53 degrees Celsius, the highest summer temperature ever recorded on the planet. The cataclysmic heatwaves is not confined to the Western world. Across the globe, Japan is going through one of the worst summers in history, with temperatures surging over 40 degrees. The heatwave has been dubbed as a natural disaster because more than 22,000 people have been sent to hospital because of heat stroke and fate. Korea is in a no better place, and the prospect is not much brighter in the month of August, and there is no sign that the temperature will decrease. Northern Vietnam has also reached more than 50 degrees, and places near Cronket Road reaches over 60 degrees in the middle of the day. For your information, wax melts completely at 62 degrees, meaning that these temperatures is devastating to life on Earth. What is worse about these record-shattering temperatures in every place on Earth is that they set wildfires raging across the world. California wildfires is pretty much out of control this year. There have also been fires in the Yellowstone National Park. At the same time, in Europe, Sweden has had hundreds of fires burning throughout the whole country, which is still happening this late in the year. Even areas inside the Arctic circles is on fire. The most destructive so far this year, outside of the US, is probably the one in Greece in mid-July, which killed almost 100 people. And situation is not getting better because another one just broke out in Greece recently. Now I'm going to show you this aerial drone footage so you can comprehend how horrible the situation has been in Greece after the previous burning. And that is not the worst, because the planet seems to be heating up from the inside too. These magnetic activities are increasing the Earth's wobble and stirring up its core, waking up virtually every volcano on the planet. If you have been following our threads on Kilauea and Yellowstone, you would know that the situation is pretty bad, because currently 40 volcanoes across the world are aggressively active, and a large number are showing activities in one way or another. Almost every volcano in the rings of fire is roaring back into life. Now, in case you don't know, the Rings of Fires is basically the coastline of the Pacific Ocean, where the majority of earthquakes and volcanoes of the Earth is located. Now if you look at this map, you'll see a lot of volcanoes are red, meaning they are active, and the majority of the rest are orange, indicating that they are showing shine of activities in some form. This images was taken from volcanodiscovery.com/erupting_volcano.html, where you can find the names, location, as well as status. Oh, here's something scary. The Yellowstone supervolcano has shown fissures as well, and if it erupts, 87,000 people will die instantly, and an area of 7 million square miles will be inhabitable. So to recapitulate, guys, the Earth is being roasted both from the outside and the inside because of cosmic radiation, and if the sun doesn't wake up soon, the effect will be devastating. So stay safe, guys, and subscribe to the channel because we will keep you posted with the latest updates on the issue. Stay tuned, guys, and until we meet again, keep your eye on the sky. This is JT at Exile, signing out. When it will do so. In fact, when it started erupting in May, it also came as quite a surprise. Yet, there are actually signs from all around the world indicating that not only Kilauea but many volcanoes will erupt, and if only scientists would look at the bigger picture and stop denying the endowed gravitational field of a celestial object, they probably would have noticed it. What's up, guys, it's JT here at X Science, and yes, you heard that what I've said in the beginning, and you heard that right. Kilauea's eruptions or any other volcanoes had harbingers which could have been noticed from the side in the sky, not from under the Earth's crust. For those who are new to the subject, I'm referring to a planetary system consisting of a core planet 10 times more massive than the Earth, and 7 satellites, as well as the debris fields and numerous asteroids orbiting the core. The system is called Planet X, Nibiru, or sometimes Nemesis, and according to many leaked confirmations as well as ancient researches and documents, the system is on the trajectory toward the Earth and will cause imminent apocalypse when it arrives. Well, actually before it arrives. Also, like I said, what we know is only from our own research and ancient documents and leaked information, because the real existence and cause of the planets is hidden from the public as the elites fear a social and economic collapse. Anyway, back to Kilauea. You might be wondering why and how an approaching system of planets could trigger a volcano here on Earth. Well, the answer is simple. Every object has gravity, and something as big as 10 Earths can very well shake the planet before it is even possible. We have already seen the effect via the increase in the Earth wobble, evident in the changes in the Sun and Moon's position. This has been observed by farmers and people living near the pole for years now. Watching the skies is an important part of their job, and they are experienced, and therefore this is likely not an illusion. The result of this wobble? Seismic and volcanic anomalies. Kilauea erupted for consecutively 3 months, with the first explosion on the 4th of May, with 150 feet high lava fountains shooting up from the lower East Rift. A magnitude-5 earthquakes immediately hit and the rift collapsed. Earthquakes became the new norms in Hawaii in the past 3 months, as there are many days where 250 earthquakes, big and small, hit, and the record being 800 earthquakes a day during July. Kilauea is only an example. Planet X surprise is stirring up the Earth's core and waking up virtually every volcano on the planet. If you have been following our topics on volcanoes, you would know that 40 of them are currently aggressively active, and the majority of the rest is having at least some kinds of activities like fissures or gas flow. Virtually the entire rings of fire is roaring back into life, including the supervolcano Yellowstone, whose eruption would kill immediately 87,000 people and render 7 million square miles of seas and land inhabitable. It is really a dire future for us because a 100-foot fissure cracking up in Grand Teton National Park, and even though this crack is 60 miles from ground zero at Yellowstone, it sits directly above the system of Yellowstone's magma chambers. Move higher into the sky and we'll find tons of strange phenomena as well. The media of course will tell you that all these happenings are part of nature, but in fact they are abnormal. Why? Because events like sundogs or red skies are supposed to be a rare occurrence, but the dramatic increase in their frequency signals that something weird is going on up there. Scientific balloons in the California atmosphere have measured higher than usual cosmic radiation. There have also been a rise in energy distribution across the solar system, and a rise in the luminosity of the Moon and Venus. Now we all know that the Moon and Venus do not radiate light, they reflect the sunlight. And since the Sun's luminosity is not increasing, there must be another source of light approaching. Now I know I say Planet X is a system of planets, not a star, so it cannot radiate light, but it can reflect back the sunlight into the Moon and Venus, thus enhance the amount of light that these two cosmic bodies reflect. Also, like I have said before, the phenomenon of red and orange skies is becoming more and more frequent. If you guys remember, a few videos back, we have this interview with a scientist who used to work with the Hubble telescope, and he saw the inbound system of Planet X, with the debris fields and Planet X itself radiating crimson red lights of iron oxide. As the system approaches us, clouds of red iron oxide particles are charged into the inner fields of the solar system and then entering the atmosphere of the Earth. Of course, I'm not denying that in many parts red skies are because of lights from Wi-Fi. What I'm talking about is other cases of reddish skies and orangish clouds, which are taking place on a more and more frequent basis. Another case is orange snow, which was reported in March this year across a number of countries in Northern Europe. According to the authorities as well as the media, the official cause of this event was sand and dust carried by the wind all the way from the north of the Sahara Desert. According to them, such happenings is completely normal and natural. NASA even published several satellite images showing the cause of this red sand. That is pretty convincing. The same reason was used to explain the red sky in London in 2017. The only odd thing here is that a few Russian weather and environmental agencies reported a large deposit of iron oxide in the upper atmosphere. There is something very fishy here. Oh, and by fishy, I also kind of mean it literally, because during the London red sky of 2017, many people reported that they smell something foul, something like that of the smell of rotten eggs. Officials said that is only normal tropical smell, but do you know what smells like rotten eggs? Well, iron oxide. The whole point here is that the elite will always say things to make sure that we don't know about the immediate doom, for ease of control as well as protection of their group's interests, as they secretly prepare ghost cities and underground facilities all over the world in anticipation of something cataclysmic. There are even sources saying that there is an entire city underneath the Denver airport powerful storm that used to appear once in the lifetime are now becoming an annual occurrence. 2 weeks before Kilauea erupted, on the 14th and 15th of April this year, Hawaii was hit with a torrential downpour, biggest one in Hawaii's recorded history, with 50 inches of rain in only 24 hours. Scientists coined this phenomenon rain bomb. Basically, it's a burst of downpours which happens when a cool heavy column of air sinks suddenly in the middle of a storm. This downdrop pulls the water droplet down with it with tremendous force. The effects of climate change have caused the upper atmosphere to warm to the degree that it holds much more moisture, which builds up until it meets cold dry air, creating a massive and unstable system. As a result of the Hawaiian rain bomb, the natural rivers at the botanical gardens of the Halani Valley were hit the hardest. These places were shut out, and the consequence was closely monitored because these regions are home to species of plants and animals that are found nowhere else on the planet. In March, Europe experienced a horrible cold, which was the beast from the east. The deep freeze is nowhere near normal because March is normally spring in Europe already. Then, only 2 months later, the continent's temperature records are shattered as a heatwave rose the land, setting wildfires burning even inside the Arctic Circle. Southern Europe reached as high as almost 50 degrees Celsius, while the western parts reached over 40. Things are even worse, as every single place in the northern hemisphere faced the same situation. Canada and the United States reached more than 40 degrees, and Japan and Korea are no better. Things are extremely bad for Japan, as just a few weeks ago, it experienced a historical flood that killed more than 200 people, and now 22,000 are sent to the hospital because of heat stroke. In Hanoi, Vietnam, the temperature near concrete roads at noon reaches 60 degrees, high enough to melt wax. And as Planet X gets closer, all the man-made climate change will be much worse. Temperature will surge and fall, and there might be no way to predict when and how much things will change, and how big the indication will be for us living on the planet. One thing for sure is that most of our civilization might be wiped out before Planet X is here, if it were to trigger Yellowstone. I mean, imagine a nuclear winter, an acid rain bomb, and sudden heat wave and global warming. That is definitely the recipes for disaster. A bit of references, but if you guys watch the movie Zero Storm, you will understand what I'm saying. Burning sun rays and blizzards will happen simultaneously. The only difference is that in the movie, these things were caused by a human invention and could be stopped, but in reality, I mean that what on earth can stop the trajectory of a planet 10 times bigger than Earth? Not to mention cosmic magnetic activities and radiation, which we know a teeny fraction about. Well, what is even sadder is that, like I said above, the elites are secretly preparing the escape by not letting us know about it, just for their easier control. You and I may not survive this, and we only have each other, guys. So a good thing to do is equipping yourself with survival skill and knowledge, and more importantly, keep looking to the sky and listen to the ground, because a harbinger may come any moment. Noticing this thing 1 hour early would already mean the difference of life and death. So guys, if you happen to see something strange, please immediately inform us, because we can extract a lot of insight from the happenings, and we will in turn inform you guys of the indication of these occurrences. Also, to keep yourself posted on the matter, hit the subscribe button, because new videos will be coming out very soon. Until then, stay safe everyone. This is JT at X Science, signing out.